Okay, so this is a presentation on how to set up workstations for Sabre, multiple workstations talking to a central database on a local network. Okay, so the first thing is you've got to work on the main machine or the server where you've got Sabre installed. I first recommend that you go into Sabre and do an update, and you can do that over here under help and then check for updates. Once you click check for updates and you run it, you can close Sabre in the background, otherwise it'll ask to reboot your computer afterwards because some of the files are open. If you have any problems along the way, you're welcome to call us for support. Okay, so it shows that there is an update, so you run that update. I'm not going to go through the full update. Okay, so now the software is now up to date. Now what you do is you right click on Sabre and you're going to open the file location. In the file location, go back one folder to Sabre's root, the root of Sabre. In fact, go back two so that you can find the root of Sabre. Right click on Sabre and share the folder. And that you do by giving access over here. You can choose specific people, or you can choose everybody, or add users if you want to give specific rights. And you say share. When you say share, these are the subfolders you want to share. Don't change settings, just choose the folder itself, the root, and it'll give you the computer's name /Sabre as the default location. So that's the first thing to do, is Microsoft sharing. Once you've done that, to actually see the instructions, sorry, I should have told you that first. You go here under Program Data Sabre, and then there's a folder called Supporting Files. And in Supporting Files, you've got a folder called Sabre Client. And sorry, I'm actually incorrect. Yeah, that is correct. Sorry. So you go to Sabre Client. In Sabre Client, you'll find three files. This is a shortcut, and this is the instruction on how to set everything up. I just want to bring that across from the other screen. So this is the instruction that I'm going to go through now to explain how to do everything. And then you've got the client install, which is the batch file which installs everything on the workstation itself. So if we follow my notes over here, to store the database, go to that directory as I give it to you, where the database resides, and see these particular files that I'm showing you at the moment. Okay, I'm sitting on the server still. Edit the share the folder as I explained, but then edit the Sabre install.bat, and also you're going to also at the same time edit the Sabre shortcut. And the reason why you'll do that is that if I edit it, you'll see that the default at the moment, the default settings are all pointing to 127.0.0.1, and 127.0.0.1 is localhost, so that is yourself as the server. So a quick test that you can do without changing any settings over here, I'll give you more insight to what then compared to what the notes gives you. You can make yourself, or talk to the server as if you are working on a workstation. So just to test everything, if we go to the properties of the shortcut, it should also be pointing to 127.0.0.1. And if you run the shortcut, if everything's fine on this computer, you should be able to talk to it from a workstation. So I'm just going into the properties, and there you see it's 127.0.0.1, and this will prove that your sharing and your path is correct. Another way to test your path before we carry on is if you just go and explore, and you go / 127.0.0.1, and there's Sabre, the shared folder, and there's the directories that we're talking about. So if I run this shortcut over here, it should run Sabre. Just by the way, because of securities on the computer itself, it comes up with this. It'll still run, you just have to keep saying run, run, run. And I'll show you how to get rid of that as well now, before we go any further. Okay, so now we connected into Sabre, everything's working perfectly. So I'm just going to go out of here again, and I'm going to address that issue with the shortcut not showing properly. To fix that, go to your control panel, go to Internet Options, and then go to Security over here. Just be happy to pause my video and go back and do it one step at a time. Go to Custom Level, and I drag right down to the bottom and then go a bit further back this way. And what we're looking for is this option over here. It says launching applications for unsafe files. It's just because Microsoft is not, our software is not registered with Microsoft, that it comes up with that. So just click Enable, where it says not secure, and click OK, and say yes, and click OK. And now that problem should be solved. If I now run Sabre from the shortcut, it'll run without any issues. Go straight in. Okay, so that proves that the internet services are working on this computer. The other thing to do while I'm on this computer is to go and check that your firewall is either off or that you have port 3500 enabled for incoming connections. I'm not going to go into this. You can go and look at any other YouTube video that explains how to do that. But that is just so that from the remote workstation you can connect back to this computer, and that's the port that needs to be opened for the network, for the Firebird database engine to get access. Okay, yeah, so what I was actually starting off with this is that you need to point to the server's name. 127.0.0.1 is to yourself, so that works fine if you're running on the server. But in this case, I'm going to change this to the IP address of my computer. And if you have a look here at the IP address, it is 192.168.1.20. So just to show that to you, if I go here to my Ethernet and status, there you can see my IP address is 192.168.0.20. You can also use the server name, as you saw it as Peter Desktop. But in this case, just to make life a bit easier, what I normally do to make life easier as well is I'll copy that, select the original IP address, go to Edit, and say Replace, and replace that with the one that you want, 192.168.1.20, and just say Replace All, and then that will replace wherever it's pointing to the server. You close and save that. And then you need to go and do the same with the shortcut. And once again, when you've done this, you can test it again on the server, just to make sure that it's working locally, because then it will work on the workstation as well. So that's, let's just change it. See, 192.168.1.20. It's a bit confusing here because I've got two networks that are running on the same computer, but I want to use that one so that I can take over my laptop, which is on the same network, and just close that. Go back here. So now if I run the icon, you'll see it also comes up with the icon now. There you can see it's running. So that's running, pointing to the IP address of this computer. Okay, so now I'm going to run a remote session into my laptop. And show you how to set up the workstation. So this is now the workstation that I'm showing you. So to see that you can connect to the server, the easiest way to tell that is to go on the top here and say / / 192.168.1.20 and enter. And now you can see I've connected to the server. If you're connected and it's the first time you're connecting, it'll ask for the username and password, which you enter, and then you should get the shares. So now if you click on Sabre, you should see the folders over here. Okay, so if you go into support files, and then you go into Sabre Client. This is where you set up the client's machine, which is this computer that we're now working on. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is just run client install, and you just do this for every workstation. What I wanted to say before I ran it is that it's good to run it as an administrator, because it opens up your rights so that it can place files in different places. So I think I'm just going to kill it quickly, even though it's already started. As you can see, it's already put the icon on the desktop. But I'm just going to run it again, and I want to run it as administrator. Okay, I'll put some pauses in here just so that you can see what it's doing. I'll take the pauses out on the normal install. It will just go straight through. It's now going to install the Firebird engine, and normally it does this all hidden, but I think because it's doing it remotely, it comes up with prompts because you're running it off the server. So I'm going to just go through the lightweight installation, which is you just click OK over here. Okay, I've already got it installed. But if you go through the process, you can either just say yes, 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 yes all the way through to the end. Alternatively, you can choose the lightest weight client version of the Firebird engine, which is all that's necessary. So in this case, it's already installed, so there's no need to install it again. Okay, so just let it run. It just copies a few files across. The only reason why I'm getting a few errors is that some of these drivers are already installed. So that's why I'm getting these errors. You normally wouldn't get errors, you'll just get successful installation of each of the drivers that look like this. I already had Sabre installed on this computer. Okay, at this point here it says that if you've got an enrollment reader, you need to press OK and install the enrollment reader. Alternatively, you can just cancel it if you don't have an enrollment reader on this computer. So now it's just running the enrollment reader driver, which is a separate driver. And in this case, I'm just going to cancel it. There's no need for it. And that's the installation complete. Okay, the only other thing we can do now is we can test it. And if you get that same prompt coming up for securities, you can go and disable that security of the application the same way I did on the server. Now, this laptop is a little bit slow, and I think also with the remote session that I've got with it, it's slowing it down even more. Okay, the first time when you log in, you just select the company, put in the username and the password, and you can tick these two so that it remembers it for the next login. Okay, I think it's just small letters, admin. And there you have it. Okay, hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and please contact us should you need support. The numbers are here on the desktop of Sabre, and you're also welcome to go to help and look at the video tutorials which you'll find through the application as well.